Heading into Best Buy to pick up a GoPro Max. Going to replace my GoPro Fusion. Getting frustrated with the transferring of 2 video clips, one for front, one for back for every video, and then the long processing time and the outdated app that they are never going to update again. Downloaded some sample footage of the GoPro Max. The rendering of that single file when it's on the computer seems to go way quicker than the GoPro Fusion. So we're going to go pick that up at Best Buy and check it out. I'm going to do some comparison video of the GoPro Max against the GoPro Fusion to just see how much time saving there is in one versus the other, from the point of getting it off the camera, transferring the video to the PC, and rendering it so it's ready for Premiere Pro. So immediately when I got home, I went ahead and mounted the GoPro Max and Fusion to the back of the car and took a still 360 image to compare them. As you can see in the image on the left, the GoPro Max does a better job in the sense of stitching. You can see on the right with the GoPro Fusion does a terrible job of stitching. Also, the image on the right, you can see chromatic aberration on the quote-unquote spoiler of the Corvette. Not a big spoiler, a little baby spoiler. Interesting as well, I think the color accuracy is better in the image on the left, which is the GoPro Max. The Fusion has a bluish tint on my shirt, which the shirt is not blue at all. However, where the Fusion is doing a better job is with the low light situation in terms of noise. If you look at the back cabinet on the image on the right, there's very little noise on the cabinet. It looks pretty good. As we're on the GoPro Max overall, even though the image is better, the stitching is better, the noise is worse on the back cabinet. This is the video from the GoPro Fusion mounted to the back of the Corvette. We're standing in the garage. The garage door is open, so it's bright on one side and dark on the other side. So we can test the lens to see how the camera deals with different mixed lighting environments. We're also going to go ahead and check the stitch line. Now I'm not very far away. I would say about a car length away. Maybe like 6 feet. COVID distance. Walk towards the front of the car. So can you see I'm backlit, really bright behind me? So how's the camera going to deal with that at this distance? The brightness. Is it automatically compensating the brightness based on the back wall being really dark? So is it going to increase the brightness and make it super bright so it can expose the back wall? Or is it instead going to decrease the brightness in order for the sun to not be so blown out in the front, making it really dark in the back? So here we are, stitch line on the GoPro Fusion. And walking towards the back of the camera. So here we are with the GoPro Max, standing in the back of the garage. One thing I noticed I really like about the Fusion is I can see how much time is on the timer at a distance. Here I have to get really close to the camera in order to see the small timer. Minor issue. So how do I look close up to the lens? We go down to the stitch line. Again, we're about 6 feet away. How's it doing with the stitching? Is it noticeable? Less noticeable or more noticeable than the Fusion? I'm hoping it does a better job than the Fusion, not a worse job. But I don't know the answer until we look at this video on the computer. I'm going to walk around towards the front of the car. Is it doing a better job than the Fusion in terms of exposing me? And we do have that strong light towards the front of the garage. It's not bright sun. It's like overcast, partly cloudy, so the sun's not directly out right now. But how does it do when it has a backlit subject at a distance? Again, bright light towards the front. It's going to do one of two things. It's going to bring that brightness down, or it's going to bring that brightness up because it's wanting to expose the back of the garage a little bit better where it's dark. Which choice will it make, or will it choose somewhere in a happy place, happy medium comparatively to the Fusion? Here we are at the other stitch line. Crossing the stitch line. It's GoPro Max. Is it doing a better job than the GoPro Fusion? One would hope after several years it would do a better job. Alright, we have GoPro Fusion Studio open and GoPro Max Exporter open. I've selected a file to be rendered here in the GoPro Fusion. We'll add to the render queue. It's about 2 minutes and 50 seconds long. I'm going to do 5, 6 in editing. Check the settings. We have Cineform. And then we have ProRes would be the other option. So we'll do Cineform. And then in the GoPro Max Exporter, I've selected this file. It's 2 minutes and 31 seconds, so about 20 seconds shorter. So not really a fair comparison, but it's close. And then we're doing Cineform 5.6K. I'm going to do this one first because I anticipate this is not going to take as long. So here we go, up to 4%. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put the clock on the screen until the end of this. We'll speed this up. That file is finishing up processing. That did not seem very painful. Now, let's go back here and take a look at the Fusion. So, all ready to go. Cineform 5.6. It's going to be a 12 gig file. Render all. I'm going to go ahead and speed that up for you as well. Let's start the clock. So we can see on the GoPro Fusion, it would take a lot of patience to wait for a single 360 video file to render. You'd have to go make dinner or watch your favorite TV show, and then come back later. 99.7%, almost done. Go, 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 Fusion. Studio, you can do it. If you're curious about specs of this computer, let's take a look here. It is done. 645.57. Right there, I guess, and scroll down. That's what the computer is anyway. Intel Core i7-87K CPU, 3.7 gigahertz, 16 gig of RAM. Anywho, there we go. We got 2 rendered files, so it takes forever. Here are my initial impressions of the GoPro Max after 1 day of use and capturing a couple of videos and images. The GoPro Max had more noise than the GoPro Fusion in both of the videos and images I captured in the mixed lighting environment of my garage. The GoPro Max performed better than the Fusion when it came to stitching, although both had issues at the stitch line, even with objects that were 6 feet or more away from the camera. The GoPro Max did a better job than the Fusion as relates to chromatic aberration. The colors of the GoPro Max were more accurate than the GoPro Fusion. The GoPro Max did a dramatically better job of converting the files for use in video editing programs on the computer. The Fusion did a better job of evening out the exposure from the front camera to the rear camera when the front camera was pointed at a light source and the rear camera was pointed away from the light source. If you are considering upgrading your GoPro Fusion to GoPro Max, I would only suggest upgrading if one or more of the following is your reason. You're seeking the ability to create content via your mobile phone rather than a PC. You are seeking a less time-consuming and more efficient PC workflow. You are looking for easier camera control via the new menu system. You're looking for the ability to shoot 360 content in addition to normal content in hero mode. I would not suggest upgrading if your primary use of the camera is taking images, if you normally shoot in RAW mode, which is not an option in the GoPro Max. If your reason for upgrading is an expectation of a higher image or video quality, I would suggest holding off until a future camera comes out. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.